Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. It's Friday. We're recording this at just past 7 o'clock. It's HHV, the judge, and last week our big 2000 Guineas preview. The judge found you the winner with Chaldean. An extraordinary gamble, even. I can't even say it. I'm not excited about what happened. Shortening and shortening and shortening and shortening. And Frankie, an emotional day for you and him. Well done, judge. Bag that winner, mate.
Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, well, it won quite well in the end, and we flagged the fifth up, obviously, which ran a good race. If you could, and we didn't even knock the second out, did we? No. So it was quite a good podcast, if you want to call it that. We did a good job.
I would say, Judge, if anybody wants a full review of it, go to Judge Pottage's YouTube channel. You'll see the latest video. We do a proper review of everything, the whole race.
Yeah,
and come up
with
a big price tag catcher. So do that. Now today we switch codes. Now
we do.
I'll quickly go through what it is and the sort of blurb that you get sent for these things. So this is the 315 at Haydock, the Temps Network, Swinton. It is a Class 1. It's a cracking race, 17 runners over 2 miles at Haydock. Now, the press pack, the mid whatever, says it's the first big race of the season. Now, all I'd say about that is I've been through the trainer's comments, and out of 17, 12 of the horses, the trainer has said in their comments that after this race, the horse will be roughed off for the summer. So it's a strange thing for the first big race. So, of course, let's not bullshit anybody. It's the last big race.
Well, I was going to say, I always think the Swinton is the end of the jump season.
Yeah. So, of course, it's not the start. But let's not get bogged down in that.
No, that's right.
It can't be the start of the season if 12 of the bloody horses are going on all these tracks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, let's have a whiz at the betting and we'll come over to the judge. We've been told off for going on too long by ourselves. So we're going to give it short and punchy. Now, Brentford Hope, who was an eye catcher for the judge when he ran at Weatherby with a different trainer, what seems like years ago, he's the 4-1 well-backed favourite now with his new trainer,
Harry Derham.
Harry Derham. That's it. His name escaped me. Good old Harry Derham. And he's won his last two. Never been out of the first two in his career. Will that continue? If you think it won't, you can get 4-1. Biker is second favourite for Charles Burns. Now, one thing you can be assured about Charles Burns, Judge, is this is going to give 100%. You know that with every... sorry, you don't, do you? He's just been done again for non-triers. But I will say this, if you fancy it, we'll come to it, but his record in Britain is fairly strong. So I don't think he has the quiet ones when he comes over here. That's Charles Burns. Although, if you watch the replay, I mean, taking the whatever. Even by Charles Burns standards, he got a gold medal for fiddling. Now, Teddy Blue, he's third favourite at 9-1. We've got Lunar Sovereign. Paramount, a horse who ran up some really strong form but flopped last time. He's 12-1. Washington at 14s. And we go all the way to Brian Hughes, the champ, riding the outsider. You don't see that often in Fruit and Nut at 33-1. Now, Judge, this is a crackerjack of a race. I will say this, it's competitive, 17 runners, but I don't think for the grade it's the strongest heat or the strongest renewal. But it's going to be a cracker of a race. So give me your thoughts and which way are you leaning?
Well, I think the first thing to say is, they've all had a long, hard season, haven't they? With this one at the beginning of the season, nearly. Yeah. I mean, obviously, I put Brentford Hope up in that Weatherby race, and quite a while back, and since it's changed trainer from Richard Hughes to Harry Derham. It's won a couple of pretty poor novice hurdles since, but I mean, the last time out was quite it's a better novice hurdle than its previous one. This horse, obviously, on the flat was rated around about 100, I think, off the top of my head. And, I mean, he is well handicapped even now for a mark of 123 over hurdles. Look, out of the front two, I would prefer him because the other one, that's definitely had a long season, isn't it? At least with Brentford, he's had a break mid-season and everything. So I prefer him out the front two in the betting. But at the price, he's not my kind of bet, to be honest. So I had a short list of... 3. I want to mention one line of Yeah, my fault line. Yeah, the short loss to 3, but I'm going to give a tip. But I like to do that rather than going through every blimmin' horse. I thought 2 form lines were interesting. Even you had the Scottish. You had the Sussex Champion Hurdle, in which Teddy Blue won and beat Alcon Risk and Get Back, which you know at the time it sort of like didn't look a great renewal, but you think, well, Alcon Risk did win the Betfair Hurdle, didn't it, or the Old Tote Trophy, and the Ball Barley finished behind in that race, and that since has come out and come second since. And another horse who was further behind, Ephinoc Fizz, has come out and come second at Cheltenham since. So I actually think that's not a bad line of form. So, but it's just difficult. I think personally, Alcon Risk has had quite a long season now, and I don't know. Now the ground will dry up, and that will definitely give him a good chance. I can't make head or tail of Get Back. To be fair, he doesn't really like winning too much, although he's a tad unlucky at Plumpton. A Teddy Blue there seemed to run a little bit in snatches, and if he really fancies it, he'd be the one out of the 3 for me out that race. But my main selection in the race, I'm going to come to it, is Washington. I thought this horse last time out at Aintree was a little bit unlucky because the front 2, which was Paramount and Knickerbocker Glory, went miles too fast in that race. And he appeared to be in the right position on the inside of the track, following the 2 of them in 3rd. But I think he sort of pounced too soon, and 2 wide challengers come and done him up the running. This horse is definitely handicapped now to win. He's down the bottom. Ollie Murphy, you think this has got to be one of his targets for the season. He is a spring sort of campaigned horse. So for me, he would be my main selection. But I do also want to give a big mention for Take It Easy in this race. This horse has got some decent back class. Was running down the field earlier on in the season for Pam Sly, who's stable. You know, has been banging in the winners this season for a small stable. And it's probably a little bit fortunate to win last time. Unfortunately, a horse made a mistake and sadly died at the last time out. But this horse was coming to challenge and looked like it might well have won anyway. He's only gone up about, I think, £3 for that win. And you can still get 22 to 1 or whatever out there. That looks a decent each way play. So for me, Washington would be my main selection, but a little bit each way on Take It Easy too.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Judge. Let's see if you can go bang in 2 weeks with Washington there. I agree with you. I think that was a case of being too near a suicidal pace, probably cost you the race last time. Ironically, I think that's what happened in the Chester Cup today, but that is another story in itself.
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there.
Right, nothing.
Yes, that's our torture at Chester this week. Oh, yes.
Exactly. Glad to be back on the jump season.
I can't wait for York next week.
Yeah, me neither, mate. Right, number 1, top of the shop, Alcon Risk, on by Goodwin Racing. I mean, he has been a busy boy. And he's just a great horse. I think he'll run quite well. He's not my selection, but I wouldn't rule him out. If he runs his usual honest race, I think with 5. And the other thing to say is there's 5 places available with most bookmakers and 6. Yeah. Now, you know, Alcon Risk at 16s. Sure, he's got to be in the 5. The way I look at the top of the market, I think Brentford Hope had become disappointing with Richard Hughes. Keeps hearing it was going to be backed.
He was the Derby horse at one stage, wasn't it?
He was. When I went to Lambourne Open, he was the one we were talking about to get your money on the Derby, and they were backing him. Seems a long time ago now. I think he's very, very short for what he's achieved. Biker, it's Charles Burns. I've just said that he tends to play it straight here. If he does, I could see this winning. But in the light of the fact that what's happened last Sunday, I'm loath to tip that horse, Biker. But I wouldn't put anyone off. I think it really could do a number on these. However, the bet for me here, I just can't get my head around this at all, is number 8, Paris Encore. 20 to 1 with Paddy Power, 5 places. 20 to 1 for Betfair Sports, 5 places. 16s and 18s really across the board. Now, Paris Encore ran really well last time out in the Scottish Champion Hurdles. Cracking, always, you know, there's never a bad one, but I thought it was a really decent one. Rubold, in one of the great front-running rides, did a real number on them, and the rest of them give them an easy lead. But I think there's 2 races going on there. I think the winner was in a different race on his own, and then the pack kind of raced behind him. So it was a good 4th, but I come back to a win here on this track, albeit in a lower grade, where he was seriously impressive. He's only 7. Nicky Richards has had a fantastic season, and now he's into the new season. I don't see why that won't carry on. Back at Haydock, which produced the best form of his career, he's off a marker 126. He's shown in that Scottish Champion hurdle that he can mix it in really good company. He's got plenty of pace. He loves Haydock. I think he's just a knocking bet at 20-1. I think there'll be money for him overnight and tomorrow, though. I said that last week, and my horse I gave treble the price. So I've got to be careful with that. But I think on the knowledge I've got, I know he loves the track. I know he's in good form. I know the yard's in great form. I think 20-1's absolutely massive for Paris Encore. It's not a classy renewal. It's a competitive renewal. He had 5 races last year, so he's not been quiet, but he had an easy win. He had a little gap. He's fit and flying from the Scottish Champion hurdle. It's 3 weeks ago. I don't think it'll put a mark on him. I think he'll go on this ground. I think if it's a nice day tomorrow, it'll be lively by 3:15, or not lively, but it'll be decent ground. I think he's going to bustle them up. It wouldn't surprise me if he won this at all. So I'm really sweet on Paris Encore. I am not blind to the chance of Biker, and I wouldn't put anybody on. But I am loath to tip when a trainer's been hauled in for the antics we saw. But there you go. You pays your money, you takes your choice. And what I will say in a wider point is, if you do bet a Charles Burns horse, you have to accept when things happen like they did the other day. He won the Cesarovic easy. He brought a horse over to Cheltenham and landed a huge gamble. Yeah. So it's not insane to back his horses when they come here, but you have to accept that things can happen. That's all I'll say in the nicest possible way. But for me, it's Paris Encore. The judge is going in on Washington.
I've got the same side. What have you gone for?
Paris Encore. Say it again.
Encore!
Yeah. And on that point, have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday, Judge. Let's hope Judge can make it 2 wins from 2. The only thing that would give me more pleasure than that, Judge, is if my horse Paris Encore won and made it 1-1 in a sort of lopsided way. Have a fantastic weekend, everybody. Judge will be busy on his private service. I'll be busy tomorrow with HFC Club. And a quick well done to Trackman, who rang me about an hour ago, who's gone 4 from 4 with a winner at Ascot this afternoon. So the most informed tipster anywhere. There you go. He's at HFC. We're at HFC. It's going to be a great weekend. Enjoy yourselves, whatever you are doing. And let's hope the Swinton, the first big race of the new season, bags us a winner. Bye, everybody.
Be lucky.